doesn't make sense.
Like,
Like,
and
how do you even
what makes no
lose the
sense about
arm?
this nonsense? The perfect Susano, Madara's greatest defense, is supposed to rival that of a Bijuu, meaning it would lose to all 9 Bijuu combined. So why is base Madara tanking this? That makes sense, bro.
I told you, bro. Madara's way stronger than Hashirama. Like, it's just a setup. Okay, okay. I have more evidence for that
Well,
because I
no.
was.
The problem is
Mhm.
this is in Boruto too, to where Sasuke can tank kicks better than a Susano. It's not how that works.
That's funny. Okay, but I was
It's
looking at
plot
this again.
induced nonsense.
Yeah. So okay, bro.
Yeah.
This is the 1,000-arm Buddha statue. You know, Hashirama's Sage Mode greatest, strongest technique being absolutely devastated from tailed beast bombs. Look, these are the 1,000 arms. It's being riddled. Here's the explosion.
No, Madara does a ridiculous attack against it. The Buddha's main hands ultimately grab Kurama and win and stuff.
Yeah, the
But
1,000 arms did nothing. Honestly, like I
yeah,
was remembering the video games
they're basically
where
yeah.
yeah, the video game where the 1,000 arms was just overwhelming the Nine Tails, or like I guess like the statements that people make that like, oh, they were like equal the Nine Tails and the 1,000 arms. No, no, this thing got decimated, bro. Like this is the panel before. It's the Bijuu bombs versus the arms. You can see down here what's happening. I took a screenshot of this specifically. I will zoom in. You can see, like, ignore this left part because, like, it's just, you see it's just the arms going into the tailed beast or whatever. But you can see even here, the arms throughout are just being destroyed everywhere.
Yeah,
Just
it's
left
both.
and right.
Like they're getting destroyed and they're hitting Kurama. It's like meant to be like a mostly equal clash.
No.
But
But it's
like
not equal. It's just
Hashirama
the fact that
ultimately
there's
gets the win.
so many arms. Like, the tailed beast bombs are not being destroyed. They're just slicing
Well,
through like
yeah.
butter. Like, it's not even the tailed beast bomb. Honestly, it's just the
Yeah.
Susano sword around, just slicing through. This reminds me of Itachi Susano versus Orochimaru's Hydra.
Kind of, yeah. The well, except if the Hydra like did something. I that's see this okay. Rewrite. This is what I well slightly different in concept. This is what I would have liked from Orochimaru's Hydra versus Susano. Something similar to where it's kind of like an equal clash, except in this case, rather than Hashirama getting the edge and grabbing Kurama and stuff, it would be the other way around to where Itachi gets the edge and seals Orochimaru. But a similar concept to where it's like this sort of thing.
Yeah. That
So where
being
the
said,
Orochimaru heads in this case would be like keep regrowing, and attacking the Susano and like punching it with its head and stuff. And Itachi be trying to slice it as fast as he can or whatever. Like
yeah.
just on a smaller scale, basically. See,
That
that's what
being
I
said,
wanted. Because then
I'm
it'd be like you're putting respect to Orochimaru that way. That'd be fucking cool.
I'm absolutely, based on this, gonna say it's not equal. I don't think it's close. I do think the 1,000-arm Buddha statue just gets demolished comparatively here. Like if they had an
Well, no,
actual fight.
because the no, because that's the problem with what you're trying to say with this argument. Because whereas yes, this destroys a lot of the arms and all that, the point with the jutsu does win because it has so many arms. So having so many arms is one of the strengths of the jutsu, and that's why it ultimately can get the win.
No, but what I'm saying is because
So
my
you can't say that it's
interpretation.
weaker
Hold
overall.
on. Yes, I can. Because first of all, my interpretation is that Madara threw this fight anyways. He would have to do that. Because it's like if Itachi
Yeah,
purposefully
but
let Orochimaru win, we couldn't use that.
yeah, but it makes no sense for. See, my problem is it just doesn't make sense for Madara to throw the fight. Just beat Hashirama and steal his flesh. You don't need to throw the fight to do this.
Bro, but again, this is like the Naruto and Sasuke versus the world. I think Madara knew, regardless of Hashirama, if the world thinks he's alive, he just can't complete his plan. Regardless if he thinks that he can defeat the world
You can
itself
just
or not,
hide.
the world would just
Or
look
worst
for
case,
him.
make it look like you tied and both died. You still don't need to throw the fight.
Bro, I just think that's what Kishimoto was going for. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You can say it's
I
ridiculous. You
don't
can say
think
it
so.
makes
I
no
don't think that's what
sense.
Kishimoto's going for.
Because
I don't
this
want to argue it because they're just going to go around in circles. It's not provable in either direction. It would be an endless argument, but no, I don't think that's what he's going for. I think what he's going for is that Hashirama did win. Madara wasn't expecting to get backstabbed at the end there.
nah, it's absolute nonsense. But besides that,
He had
that's not
preparations with
related
the
to this
Izanagi,
part
but
anyways. Yeah, but why would he have preparations for the Izanagi? Because you have to prepare that in advance. So he
in
was
case he
expecting it.
lost,
The Izanagi is a
it's not
60-second jutsu. He would have either had to waste his
no,
eye.
it was it was pre-implanted beforehand.
Okay. Whatever.
That's what Setsu says.
Either way.
Regardless, expecting or preparing in case you lose is not the same as throwing the fight and purposefully losing. Not
Does
the
that
same.
okay, does that even narratively work with your Madara character that he's so confident and works alone and the ironic of the motif of him being stabbed in the back?
Yeah,
Why?
because he wasn't expecting to get stabbed from the back.
Okay, well, he didn't have an Izanagi prepared then.
But he did, apparently.
Against Zetsu?
Oh, against Setsu, no. Yeah, he didn't. Kishimoto, bro. He didn't think. He wasn't planning to fight Setsu at all.
Well, he was preparing to fight Naruto and Sasuke. It doesn't matter who he's gonna fight.
You could argue he should have had an Izanagi for them, but he thought he was going to win against them with Hashirama. He was concerned he might lose.
Why? Because again, Madara's character.
Because Hashirama always won.
Okay, but Madara's character. Does that make sense with Madara's character?
He's a planner. I mean, otherwise you have to say why didn't Madara quote unquote throw the fight against Team 7 to catch him off guard or something?
Oh god. Well, my point here is that if anything, regardless, you could say this is Madara's character, you could say whatever. I think this would just be plot-induced stupidity if necessary, plot force, because this is a melee jutsu versus a range technique, and Kurama's fast. It's not like it's not like the Thousand Arms can run after him.
Well, I guess you
Like,
could say that.
in the video games,
maybe
we're
maybe
fighting.
Madara can't do the jutsu well if he's not standing still, you know, planted in his athletic stance there. If he's running away, maybe the jutsu doesn't work. So maybe he's like on a canoe and he's missing a lot, or the jutsu gets weaker and so on.
In the video game, we are fighting against the wood golem, not the Thousand Arm Buddha statue, the wood golem from Madara's perspective with the tailed beast bomb, or yeah, with the nine tails, with the Susano clad, from a distance, just firing the minigun of the tailed beast bomb. And then at the end, it's the boss fight where we get close, where he does the Thousand Arm Buddha statue, and then we get the scene that you've seen.
Yeah.
But it's clear from the video game that the Ninetales is just running circles, literally, around the wood golem. So there's no reason for Madara to get close. He's not worried about melee. He's just doing the range jutsus, and it clearly works. If he wanted to win, he could have.
Well,
Why would he get close? He didn't think of it. He was already doing it.
Not in the manga version, at least. Kishimoto didn't write the video game, so
Well, first of all, I disagree with that. But second of all,
Or if he did, then
why,
it was a retcon.
regardless, why would Madara get close and then do ranged attacks? Regardless.
Because he loves combat. But this was the only jutsu that was going to be useful at the time.
Well, ranged combat is still combat.
He likes to be up close and personal.
Madara's careful. Like you said, he's a planner. If he prepared the Izanagi,
Except for when he gets too in love with that, then he starts to get less careful.
if he's so planny that he prepared the Izanagi in advance, then he wouldn't do this.
Maybe, well, that's all the more reason he can afford to be careless with his love for battle, because even if he gets himself killed, he can just Izanagi himself back.
No, because that's hilarious of an interpretation. That okay? No, then in that case, you agree. He threw the fight. It's just a different way of doing it.
Well, all right. You know what? So we can end this discussion. We'll use that compromise.
Okay.
We'll end the stream here so I can finish my script.
Well, real quick,
That's a good
one
ending
more.
spot.
I
We'll
agree.
say Madara threw the fight, not because he wanted to lose, but because he fought a little bit less intelligently because he could afford to lose.
Okay. I agree. And we will end the discussion there, but there is one more like bonus like epilogue thing I wanted to show you really quick because I saw it just today actually. What chapter does Madara steal Hashirama's Edo Sage Mode? Do you remember? Around maybe?
Oh, maybe 663, no, 557, 558, maybe.
550. Okay, let's check it out.
No, sorry, 6. I'm sorry. 657 or 650.
Okay. I was about to say.
I didn't realize I was saying 550.
Okay, yeah, this is gonna be close. This is where his eye comes out. So I don't know exactly where it is, but I want to find it before I misquote it because I don't want to just go into it with a preconceived bias. Shout out Kurama. So this is where he absorbs it. So I don't know where he says it, so I'm just gonna have to find.
What are you referring to?
I don't
Where
want
he
to
says what?
say it until I can find it, because again, I don't want to like misquote it, because then you're gonna have an idea of what it is. It's gonna be a wrong idea because I'm misquoting it. You're like, hey, it's so bad. I'm gonna find it. You're just gonna think it's still bad anyways, because what I just said. So I have to actually find it.
Yeah, but I could help you find it. I knew what you were going
Well, you've already helped me find it. I just have to actually find it now. It's because it's gonna be really close to here. It's at some point.
Isn't
very
the less
soon after the
refined
sequel.
fighting thing?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you already know what it is. Yeah, because he has Hashirama Sage Mode, he is careless in his fighting.
Yeah.
Do you know where that is?
He says it to White Zetsu, I believe, when White Zetsu pops out.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
around here, maybe?
So.
Maybe the next page?
Probably next
Or maybe, I think in the manga, he might just say, I can fight with a little more refinement now or something.
No, it's the opposite. He's fighting with less refinement.
Yeah, I know. I thought he said something, but in the manga, maybe he doesn't say the full thing. I'm not sure. But I know.
Okay. I have no idea where it is. I can't believe it's so late.
Yeah. Well, I guess White Zetsu hasn't popped out yet, maybe. We may have gone past it already, but just keep going. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay, here it is, right there.
Yeah, healing powers. Okay, knowing that I possess Hashirama's healing powers might cause me to fight with less refinement. So there you go.
So I'll be more careful.
From here
so
on
you
out.
could argue that is your bonus epilogue reasoning for our compromise. You could argue that knowing that I have Izanagi to bring me back might cause me to fight with less refinement. You could definitely say that because he knows about he has planned Izanagi. So again, though, I do want to clarify. This works for our compromise.
Yes.
I wouldn't say this works for the original. Just he threw. I wouldn't say he threw the fight because that implies something else. But saying he was careless in his fight because of this. Yeah, I think that's totally fine, especially with this as your character evidence.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm totally cool with that.
Sounds good.
It does mean it means Hashirama won fair and square. It just means that had Madara been less unrefined, maybe they would have tied. Maybe Hashirama could have lost. I would say personally, this is what I would say. If Madara was fighting with full refinement, assuming this is the case, obviously,
That's a weird phrase.
they would tie. I think they would just both be on the ground, like knocked out or whatever. Kind of like Naruto and Sasuke, although in their cases there was always one with decided. But I think they would be more of a perfect tie. Is how I would say.
Okay.
But yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, based on this, I get that your whole thing is that, yeah, it's technically equaling out because it's the overwhelming arm amount number, which is the point. But I think, like, AP to durability wise, you can agree the tailed beast Madara is just slamming this thing.
Yeah, it's just like they have different benefits. So, like, in terms of the one fist versus one Bijuu bomb, Susano, Shuriken thing, well, yeah, the Bijuu bomb thing wins. In that case, but like, I don't think Madara's making as many. I don't think he can make as many of these level of power anyway. As many as these thingies.
I don't think. I don't think
maybe
it's
there's 100 of those versus the 1,000 arms.
No, I don't think that's what's happening
here. Maybe they each take out 9 arms, so that there's left with 100 arms at the end. Like,
no. That's not how I'm interpreting this. How I'm interpreting this is slicing through infinite. So it's not like it stops and it explodes after like 50 arms it cuts through. It's cutting through all the arms. The problem is the arms are attacking from so many different directions so quickly that he just couldn't cover all directions.
It can't. Yeah, it's not like Gaara's sand where he can just move it around like a magnet however he wants. It just goes in a straight line. So it's just going to cut through whatever 10 it hits, and that's just it. But he can't make enough to get all the arms, or at least he makes just enough to get all the arms minus the main 2 arms, which are the ones that get.
Well, what I'm
Hashirama,
saying is, like, hypothetically, if this is ridiculous, but if Madara just like ran to the side and Hashirama just didn't move, I think Madara could like line up a shot and like take out all 1,000 arms with a single Bijuu bomb. It was just sliced through.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a single, but I think he could make maybe like he could do it in 10 or whatever. Like he could plan it out a little bit better, maybe.
Yeah.
Granted, though, at the same time, if the Buddha statue can move well enough to dodge with it a little bit, maybe it wouldn't work out that way. But I was gonna say though is the goofier one. If Madara's thingies if he could just turn them into boomerangs and they come back with a slight angle, then he could destroy the statue because they would come back and each one gets twice the hits in a different spot too.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't even think it's the Bijuu bomb exploding these. I think it's literally the Susano sword embedded within that's cutting through it. It's slicing through it.
The Bijuu bomb's doing something.
I think it's adding weight to allow it the like heaviness to cut through it so easily, if that makes sense.
Okay, but then it doesn't make sense that treat it like it's all the Susano. It's both. Like, he's using both. They both have. Without both, it's not doing this.
Well, my point is that the thing that's destroying the arms, I think, would be the cutting. I don't think the Bijuu bomb is exploding, is my point.
Okay, that's fine. Well, actually, it makes an explosion, so...
Yeah, I think it's like hitting the background, like behind it, based on this.
Maybe. Either way, it doesn't matter to me, either way.
I mean, it's fine.
Because the cutting would be amplified by the fact that there's the Bijuu bomb giving it weight to make it cut better and so on, so...
Well, either way, it's because I don't think it's like cutting through only like 10 or 50 or 100 or whatever, because like hypothetically, if Orochimaru had like infinite Hydra heads, or they regenerated, do you think Itachi's swords just like break after cutting like 10 heads? No, I don't think so. I think Itachi swords can cut through
No.
infinite Hydra heads. I think it's like the same idea.
Well, the difference is that Itachi's just swinging it one at a time. So the only time it would stop is when Itachi runs out of the strength and stamina to keep swinging. In this case, air friction, no, it wouldn't be infinite. Eventually, it's going to slow down. So it wouldn't be
Okay,
infinite.
so well, not literally infinite. But
obviously,
like,
the arm friction hitting too would be even bigger than the air. But
yeah, but like, okay, in that case, I think this would probably be disanalogous. But tell me what you think. Hypothetically, it's actually it's not Itachi Uchiha, it's Itachi Hyuga, and Itachi did rotation as the Hydra that regenerated was surrounding him, so it's all technically one swing. I think he could cut through infinite.
if they were infinitely compacted.
Compacted?
Well, the problem, it depends on.
Because, like, for example,
So
Neji was cutting through, like, all 1,000 spiders. It wasn't the spiders that was slowing him down. It was the webs. Which Orochimaru's snakes didn't have, like, webs.
So
these don't have anything like that either.
But even still, it might slow him down to have to. So it kind of. So, like, rotation's weird, especially if you want to look at Hiyashi Hyuga's, where he just makes this gigantic rotation crater thing. And in his case, it's like, would he be slowed down by his rotation hitting all the Hydras because of how far away it is from his actual body? I don't know how that works for them. Like,
yeah.
So I'm not confident with that one
Okay.
because it's weird.
So one more
Hiyashi
thing.
uses rotation offensively and it's hilarious.
Yeah. One more thing is that I think it's fair to say that, like, on a tier list, and I'll explain why, because I know you're going to disagree immediately, I would put the Susano-clad Kurama...
You just have a different way of doing it. You have a different way of doing it.
I would put Susano-clad Kurama above the 1,000-arm Buddha statue. I'll explain why. It's something new. It's because, whereas, yes, technically the Susano-clad was taken off of Kurama, the 1,000-arm Buddha statue was completely destroyed, whereas Kurama was, like, uninjured.
Well, that's not true, though, because only the 1,000 arms, but the rest of the statue's not. In fact, the main statue body is perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's like the wood golem, basically. But the wood...
No, it's not. The wood
it's
golem
not. It's
is
on top. Yeah, but the statue
statue
isn't doing anything. It's just an armless statue. I don't.
No,
think
it is doing something. It's the thing that grabs Kurama in the first place.
Is it? Is it not the wood golem on top?
No, no. The Buddha statues got two normal humanoid arms, just the normal arm spots, and it's that arm that grabs Kurama. Then the wood golem flies down, and Hashirama does the 10th edict on enlightenment thing that Yamato does.
Okay, this is just plot, because that's ridiculous. Because again, you see here, all 1,000 arms are destroyed. So what, does it actually have 998 arms that were destroyed, and 2 out of 1,000 arms remained in order to grab Kurama? That
I mean, it's unclear whether it's 1,000 on the back or if the 2 in the front are counted in that 1,000. But yeah, Hashirama attacked all the arms that were punching him when the main 2 arms weren't doing anything, and he just didn't attack those.
Okay. To be fair, I was separating the 1,000 arms from the statue itself. Would you at least agree with me on a tier list, separating the 1,000 arms, that the Susano-clad should go higher on the tier list?
So just over the 1,000 arms, but not counting the Buddha itself, you mean?
Not counting the statue, yes.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm glad you agree. That being said, similarly...
But I would put the full thing, including the Buddha, over this majestic attire.
Well,
but otherwise,
it happened, because realistically, fighting from a distance, it just makes no sense for it to lose. But what?
Or if Madara could have just like shot 2 of them. Well, unless let's just say hypothetically, Madara hits those 2 other arms, maybe that means 2 arms in the back would have been there to grab Kurama. So maybe Madara only had enough to destroy 998 arms.
Well, okay, I think
but those last 2 arms.
this is a good way of interpreting it. Imagine if Itachi versus Orochimaru, the Hydra form, if Itachi was using his Susano swords, but not his Susano. His swords are effortlessly just chopping down the Hydra, but the Hydra a couple times did bite the Susano and wrap around the Susano. If it wasn't for his defense, he would have lost the fight, despite clearly being above in power. Because it's not about the power, it's about the danger.
Yeah, so then it just depends on what you're ranking based off. So
yeah,
I like to do so if I was to do like a strongest character Naruto tier list, the way I'm doing it, just for my personal taste, is really the most dangerous character in Naruto. If you want to look at it that way, or if you're doing jutsu, that's generally how I'd be doing it. So if the Hydra's able to beat Itachi Susano in a fight because of its regeneration, whenever we're given it for the sake of this hypothetical, I put it higher based off that just because that's how I want to do my tier list. But if you were to do it based off of, which is clearly seems to be how you would do it, just the like power output, their AP and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, then you would put the Susano higher because of what it can do.
So
in that sense, so it just depends on what you're ranking.
Real quick, out of curiosity, would you have Jigen fight Sasuke above Jigen fight Naruto on a tier list?
Oh, okay. I was reading that backwards. Okay. I was like, I don't understand what the difference is at first. Okay, now I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You already know what I was thinking. Okay. Good question. So Jigen states that Sasuke's more dangerous, but I think he means that more in general than necessarily in. But if you were to just take a statement as in terms of Sasuke's more dangerous in all fights than Naruto or whatever, then yeah, you could. I don't think that statement actually works in that sense to say that Sasuke is more dangerous in every fight, or at least the average fight over Naruto at that point in the series, though. I wouldn't necessarily put him there, but assuming this was the case, then yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I think the difference is that you're including hacks, whereas I'm not. So you would never put anything.
Correct. And I've been saying this from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, because in the Naruto series, the characters tend to speak about hacks as like, oh, that ninja's strong. Like, oh, like, his jutsu's insane. He's a strong ninja. They'll say stuff like that. So that's just how and I also just like the idea of like, well, who's going to win the fight is based on this. So yes. I'm looking at hacks in addition to the power. You like to do your tier list more so about just the power. That's obviously fine. It's just how you want to do the tier list, like I said.
Yeah. So this is.
So when we do strongest characters in Naruto, eventually, we're either going to have to do 2 tier lists.
I agree.
Or we're going to have to do something about this.
I know. Yeah. So this is hyperbolic, but the way I think to break this down most easily is again, this is hyperbolic, but you would have a toddler with a gun relative to a adult guy with a gun, whereas I would have a toddler with a gun relative to just a toddler without a gun.
Okay, well, I see what you're saying. I wouldn't have them relative, but like,
yeah, that's why
I would have the toddler with the gun over the toddler without a gun. Yes.
Yeah, it'd be more so in line like that. Because I think you would never include anything that just can't defeat the Itachi Susano above the Itachi Susano, whereas I would.
It depends on whether the thing that could never beat Itachi Susano could beat more things in general than Itachi Susano. Like if it's a mixed match problem, then no. But if like Itachi Susano just beats everything, then yeah, I'm putting it off.
Yeah. Like, for example, we don't have to discuss this at all, but I would rank Pain above Itachi on a tier list easily.
I would, regardless, yeah.
Okay. I was assuming you. I didn't know which one you might do, but for me, it was easy based on my ranking. But yeah.
Yeah. I would put personally Pain on top of Ninkatsuki. You and I have to do the Obito discussion versus Pain.
Well, it
but-
depends which pain or which Obito I should say, because I think White Mask would easily go on top, but Orange
Well,
Mask
yeah,
you could
sorry,
argue.
Orange Mask. I have put.
I think Orange Mask
paired
should go
Pain
above.
over Orange Mask Obito.
I think it's made simple,
Yeah,
just at
so
least in
this-
the narrative. Like Minato makes it clear Orange Mask is way more of a problem than Pain.
Like I said, we'll have that discussion a different time.
Yeah.
Like we said, maybe if we do a debate tournament, we would just have our own separate one
Yeah.
where it's just like unofficial. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I understand all the arguments for Obito. Obviously, they're two of my favorite characters, so I don't really care that much. But I like to support my guy.